Hey, what's up, guys and girls? It's Verdicks here. Got Nick, B-Man, D-Man. What's going on, boys?
Yo,
What's up,
homie.
brother?
So this is part two continuation of an interesting little thread that we found on the internet talking about parenting advice. The thread has 11. We went through the first four, so we'll probably get done another four here. Just little tips and tricks of different things that we thought were pretty cool for anyone that is a parent, hoping to be a parent, or is soon to be a parent. Some of these things make a lot of sense, and we think they'll help you along the way. So we'll get right into it. We left off with number four, and we'll start with number five. Five is ruled by reason. And what we mean by that is nothing arbitrary, right? You have to let your kids know you have to do X and here's why. It's not a whole big power trip thing where it's like my house, my rules type stuff. You owe them more than that. These aren't bad employees that you're managing. These are your kids, right? Like they're innocent. They don't understand. You owe it to them to explain why this is the rule, and be prepared for them to not get it, and be prepared for the inevitable 8 million whys. But that's just part of parenting. And in order for your kid to learn, they need to understand why you do certain things. So I think it's a pretty self-explanatory one, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm a huge offender of the my house, my rules. But in my defense, it's
No.
I know, right? In my defense, though, it's because I've gotten to the point of trying to do the rule by reason, but you've done it four times and the task still isn't done, or what you're saying still isn't being listened to. So then eventually you just say, when you get the why, you just say, because I said so, or because it's my house and that's what I want. So yeah,
Does that
I
still
try
happen
not to start with it, but
at their
I haven't.
age? No, they still do the why thing at their age.
They'll question. It's not like why is in like the innocent why of
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
like questioning
cocky
The young
everything.
teenage.
kid.
But yeah, it's more like the I know better than you, Dad type thing.
They're
To
at
where
that
then
phase.
eventually, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're full bore into that with
Okay.
especially my 10-year-old. So uh, it feels like she's 16 as it is, but
It's quite
yeah,
hard to
so
resist all of those.
yeah,
This is my house, or I brought you into this life. I'll take you out. I mean, I would never actually say that to my kid, but you definitely think it. One of the things that the teachers say around here is you get what you get and you don't get upset. And I
yeah.
thought, like, oh, all right, that's kind of a nice way of saying it. But yeah, explain to them that it's part of the journey and here's how things operate and here's why they operate, and it's mainly about keeping you safe and teaching you how to navigate this world effectively.
Yeah.
And even though they might not accept that, your kids will think differently if you tell them, why the situation is set up the way it is, even if the outcome isn't the one they want.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Next one, apologize. We do get stuff wrong as parents, believe it or not. Probably a million times every day, right? Where maybe we misinterpret a situation, or where we think our child is doing something that in reality they weren't doing, because you witnessed them do it a half hour before and you told them no, and it looks like they're doing the same exact thing, and you jump the gun, and you lose your cool and stuff like that. How many times do I have to tell you? I just told you not, But if that situation happens and it turns out that you were wrong, what a humbling moment, and what a good life lesson to apologize. Because how many times as a parent are you telling your kids to apologize to other kids or other adults for something that they said and they don't have a filter, or a toy they didn't want to share, right? Like, what better way to
Yeah.
teach them how to apologize and be sorry than to do it yourself to them? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, certainly. Yeah, I'm not above apologizing to my kids when I'm wrong.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too. And this goes
yeah,
into thinking about the way you talk to them in general. So
Yeah.
I say please and thank you to my children,
Yeah.
and I ask them to do things nicely, and I want them to ask me to do things. May I be excused? Can we please do this? And just remind them to be kind and yeah, own up to their mistakes, and you own up to their mistake to your mistakes.
Yeah.
It goes back to the one we talked about before, is setting that culture in your home. If your culture is to be kind and to be aware of each other's feelings and to know when something has gone in the wrong direction, get it corrected together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's never fun being around the kid that was raised in a family that was like never taught them to apologize or made them out to be like perfect, right? Like what a rude awakening that kid has when they get out into the world and they're not number one at everything they ever did.
Yeah.
Right. That's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Number 7, toys in, toys out. This is probably really hard to do as a parent. I can tell you right now, nowhere even close.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we have a garage or a yard sale here, not this weekend, but next weekend. And this weekend, we'll be spending our time accumulating everything that we don't play with anymore and trying to get rid of it. We definitely don't have a, hey, we got you a new toy, so let's pick one and get that out. I honestly don't even know as a parent how you could do that. Hats off to you if you can, but I really, have you ever, I mean, like, have you ever gotten caught like trying to get rid of a toy and the kid is like, that's my favorite toy ever? Like, oh my God, who's throwing that out? Like that thing's never going anywhere. But it is a good idea to do the one in, one out, and to maybe attach some sort of like charity aspect to it, right? To teach them all that not everybody has the 8 million toys that you have or the ability to get all those sort of toys. So when we get a new one, we give one to someone that's less fortunate. I think it's really noble, I think, in theory, but it's very hard to practice as an adult who loves their kid.
It's hard to practice, but also I find that try it and wait and see the quality of the toy that you are given to get rid of. That's our problem. Oh yeah, it will be like
this marble. I don't want this marble anymore.
Yeah, there's no equivalency balancing going on there. It's strictly just like here's a pen that no longer works.
I got you an Xbox, so here's a pen. Oh, thanks.
We come from what seems to be a generation that is also still addicted to toys. So we buy a lot. We are on Amazon all the time. And it's not just this group. It's pretty much every dad that I know. And so accumulation of toys is happening at an alarming rate around my house. And we've basically never thrown away anything. But I've also noticed that my children go through seasonality where it's Matchbox cars for a month. And then it's dinosaurs. And then a year from now, we'll go back to the Matchbox cars. Now, had we given those away in order to get something new, you'd be
shoot
back
yourself
to
in the
buying all
foot.
Matchbox cars.
Yeah.
So if you have storage and it's not overwhelming your entire house, I think that's reasonable. I do think it's great to teach your kids about charity, asking them to give up some of their things. Maybe it's not the best way because yes, that's charity, but it's charity in a way that makes them feel uncomfortable about charity, right? Like they're not doing it because they feel good. They're doing it because they want another toy. Like charity could be about just truly giving. It doesn't have to be that you're giving up yours to get something new. So from that aspect, teach them about charity. You can use this as a method to keep your house tidy and to teach them about responsibility.
Maybe
and it's also cool to keep your toys around for a little bit. It's a short window of what, 10 years?
I still got my Nintendo
it's a
stuff
short
in the
window
background,
of 40 years.
40 years. Maybe this can be better translated in like a different way. Maybe like the better thing to say is like not every occasion calls for a new toy, right? Yeah. Like you don't have to get a toy every time you go to Target. If you have 50 toys, they're going to be stimulated with those 50 toys. If you throw another 50 into the mix, it's not like they're any more stimulated. Now they just have 50 that sit idle and 50 that get used, So maybe that's a better way to look at it, that not everything is cause for like a toy, or not every day a new toy has to be given. And every trip to the mall, or every like, hey, you went pee-pee on the potty, like here's a new toy, like, maybe save it for big stuff and holidays and other different sort of things.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
I don't know. And then the last one for the night, let's see. Drop everything if they want to read, right? Here's something that you can never buy enough of for your kids. Never buy enough books. If kids want your attention, and they say that they want to read, drop everything. You're not being interrupted. If they want to read, if they want to learn, like that's the best thing they could ever ask you to do. So absolutely, if your child asks you to read a book to them or to read and explain something to them, like that is them asking you to impart your knowledge onto them, or to help them learn, or to bring them into this world that the book is going to offer. And it's so important for their upbringing and their learning process that nothing should take precedence over an activity like that.
So let
I
me
agree.
take this one here because my boys are 6. They're learning how to read now. And this is not an exaggeration. Their brains are figuring it out. Their brains want to figure it out, and they're going to figure it out. All you have to do is put books in front of them, read it to them a couple times, practice some sight words. I mean, it's ridiculously easy for them to learn how to read. It's not a challenge at all, other than having somebody show them, sound it out, and give them resources. It's that easy. And it makes me actually sad when I think about how many people can't read, because that's not that they don't know how to read. That's that nobody paid enough attention to put a book in front of their face. Like it's really that simple. Their brains work in these amazing ways. Put the words in front of them, challenge them to read, let them read on YouTube, put closed caption on. They like all of that stuff.
I never thought of that. That's a really good idea when they're starting to learn how to read the YouTube closed caption.
Yeah.
That's genius. You know, the other thing too about this too is if they develop a love for books early in life, it's great for them to carry that for the rest of their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure every kid, and we all probably did, went through a phase where we considered it like lame to read a book. But as an adult, I'll tell you, like, I'm very happy that I like reading, or whether it's an audiobook or a regular book. Like, it is real. It's never, ever, ever gets old or uncool to learn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure both of my kids have read more books in their short lifetimes than I have in mine.
Maybe don't admit that.
My wife always makes fun of me when I read the books out loud because I have all the mistakes of a typical out loud reader. And I swear my kid was like, today, Junior.
Yeah, man. Books are great. I agree with that 100%. If you've got a kid that is expressing interest in it, drop everything, give them as much time as they need. I mean, obviously, except at bedtime, because that's when they pull out the old, like, just one more book. And you're like, it's midnight. No, that's about the only time I would probably say no. But yeah, that's a great habit to develop early on. And it's a great habit as a parent to incentivize and kind of promote. So we've got, let's see, 3 more that we'll do one more quick video with, but we want to end this one here so it's not too long. You guys can take it, digest it, maybe put some of it in practice and let us know what you think. So check out the website. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what works, what doesn't work, or any additions that you have that we might not have talked about yet. And until next time, shields up.
Shields up.